What began as a quest to find and purchase, no matter its state, my Range Rover that I sold 30 years ago, has led me to this. Sleeping the night, curled on the back seat, to be woken by the Australian bush calls and being reacquainted with the familiar smell of gear oil. This series of videos is that story. I'm Andrew St Pierre White. Join me as I share my passion for building four-wheel drive trucks and travelling to the remotest parts of the world. If you enjoy this video, please subscribe and remember to hit that notifications bell to make sure you catch our weekly videos.
We're now on a wide dirt road.
The first thing I ever learned about four-wheel drive is that when you crash them, they bend. And that when driving on gravel roads, put it in four-wheel drive.
After stopping the car and having a look at the damage, the damage isn't too bad, other than two panels.
My father also learnt that the hard way. And so began my love affair with four-wheel drive, and especially the Range Rover. I can even track down the exact diary entry which recorded what turned out to be the start of a lifelong passion documenting four-wheel drive vehicles and their stories. April 20th, 1975. Made good travelling time on the Rhodesia roads. We arrived at Serendella camping site at about 2:30. We had a crash on the road travelling towards Kasane. 22nd April. We were trapped by elephants on the road. We were nearly charged by one. All on tape and film. This morning I hooked a gigantic fish, probably a barbel, but after taking much line, the line snapped. The big fish caught the line around some obstacles in the water. I was using bacon rind as bait. April 27. In the morning, someone else in the camp claimed to have seen a lion in camp. Meanwhile, Dad was in the toilet when the lion was behind it. But this morning is a moment of truth time. I will now find out what I actually bought. To recap, with the assistance of the Off-Road History Museum and Sheikh Hamad bin Hamdan Al Nahyan, I bought a 1975 Range Rover, blind. And now I'm in Melbourne to prepare it for a drive across Australia to my home in Perth, 3,500 and something kilometres away. And I'm about to find out how stupid I've been. Actually, no. I'm not. All I'm going to find out is how long is it going to take to get it right. So I put myself in the hands of Peter from Rangy Heaven. Let's hear what he has to say.
Yep, it's a 3.5.
The proven V8 Rover engine adapted to go anywhere conditions.
Oh, someone's converted it to a Scorch electronic distributor. Watch out for old mate.
Oh, yeah, that'll be good.
Yeah, complimentary spider for a gift. Yeah, so what they've done is
illumination ignition? No, it's not.
Well, electronic. It's basically a Hall effect type distributor. So they used to convert them, put the Ford Motorcraft ones in, but Scorcher actually make their own dizzy for them. The old points ones are a little bit unreliable.
Yes, I remember they were. They were very unreliable.
But the beautiful thing about the old points ones, at least you could adjust the points gap from the outside of the engine running. You didn't have to always use a feeler gauge.
Could you?
Yeah, had the adjuster on there, so all you need is a dwell meter, and then you just sit there and adjust it while the engine's running. Everything else you had to set the gap, put it back together, start it, run it, see how it's going.
I could have sworn that's the way I used to do it.
Oh, right, eh? It was a while ago.
It was a long time ago.
Oh, there you go. Oh, was it? Shit, that'd be worth big money now. Big money. Steering dampener on the front, okay, that's different. It's definitely going to need some bushes and stuff like that. Just depends on how far you want to go with it. You know what I mean?
We must just decide at what point do we stop?
Yeah, I mean, look, all that type of stuff there isn't going to stop you getting over the other side, yes, but it's going to stop you getting a roadworthy. You know what I mean? But if we just need to make this reliable so we can get you over the other side, then you can concentrate on that stuff while you're over there. It's up to you, or we can do it here.
Let's find a, we've got to find a happy place.
Yeah, like all your hub seals and all that, you know, swivel hubs, that's all standard, they leak a bit of oil.
They're seeping, they're not too bad, eh?
No, they're not too bad.
They're a little bit, it's a bit...
Yeah. You're probably going to want to drop the oil out of those, put all fresh oil in there. That panhard rod bush is cactus. What speed did you get up to? About 80, 90 k's at all? Or
About 90.
did you get any head shake for its steering wheel?
None at all.
Okay, I'm surprised. Yeah, because those are flogged. You'll get a lot through that. That's just normal wear and expected, you know, of a car this age. Universal joints and stuff are, they seem okay. They've got tiniest bit of movement, but they're still fine, they're serviceable.
A-frame joint?
A-frame joint will probably need replacing because
cooked,
before when I was giving it a shake, it was knocking the back.
Yes,
so
and I felt it now.
Yep. And as you accelerate and decelerate, you get a knock in the back.
Yes.
That's the A-frame ball joint.
That's
There is a device that keeps the car always on the level, whatever the load.
That'll be here. We can see there's no dust boot on that, so water and everything's been getting in there over the years.
Yeah.
That'll be definitely need replacing.
And that go-anywhere specification demands something special in springing, something special in ground clearance, something special in four-wheel drive.
It's like brake lines and stuff were done at some stage recently.
Something special in brakes too. Servo-assisted for power and duplicated master cylinders and pipelines for safety.
Trial arm bushes.
Brakes are not bad actually. Pulls a little bit to the left, but not violently. That's unusual. What's that?
Someone's done that to brace the stone shields, probably because they're rattling around. So they've done it to stiffen them up. It's going to need some brake pads in the rear.
That's why the springing is something special. Why the ground clearance is generous.
This is a modification, that's not standard.
Yeah, no, well someone's put some coil-over shocks in there, which are a bit strange. I haven't seen those before. And they've had to put a bit of a stone shield on there to protect them. The buy shock mount, so you only needed one for that one.
My biggest fear has always been that it is rusty. The rust I'm seeing is all surface rust.
It's strong, with a tough inner steel frame and light alloy outer panels.
Well, almost all surface rust.
Starting to get a bit of cancer through the rear crossmember section up in here.
Yeah.
Like it's all repairable, but it's this side's worse. Through here.
Oh yeah, that's quite bad. Yeah.
It is repairable, but it will be something that will get knocked on roadworthy because it's classed as structural.
Okay.
The sills. Well, that sill there is solid. That's a good sill. There's no rust in that sill. The sill's all pretty solid. No rust in the sill. That's good. The footwells all look reasonably solid. There's the tiniest hole there, which once you clean that up it'd be a bit bigger, but other than that it's not bad. It's definitely not bad rust-wise for its age, that's for sure. At the bottom of the A pillar and B pillars are all good. But the chassis looks okay. If anything, it looks like maybe the rear dry flange seal might be leaking a bit, but it's still nothing really. Engine, maybe rear main, it might only be just the back of the sump, but again, it's barely anything, so it's not even worth worrying about.
It's normal.
That's
absolutely normal.
It's pretty standard, really.
Yes, yeah.
Especially a car this vintage.
Yeah.
It's not too bad. Silver hub's leaking a bit of oil. All in all, it's pretty good under here. Yeah, so those radius bushes, they're cactus as well. They're all separated, the rubber from the crush tubes.
Yeah.
It'll definitely benefit for some new bushes in the front. It'll tighten it all up anyway, make it steer a heck nicer.
Would you do wheel bearings?
I wouldn't necessarily replace them, no, because these reindeers were really, really good because they ran in gear oil, the bearings.
Yes.
So if you maintain them, they last forever. They really do. So I'd possibly, if you're concerned, inspect them, but you can get a pretty good idea of the condition of them just by spinning the wheel. If you can't hear a grumble, them bearings they're quiet. So I'd probably do the preload on that bearing, change the oils and the swivel hubs because that gear oil there lubricates the wheel bearings.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
And happy days. All right. Plan of attack.
Plan of attack.
First thing, we want to strip these wheels off and get them down and get some new tyres on there, and
Yeah.
then from there we can. It's It's up to you how far you want to go with seals and bushes and bits and pieces, where we just want to make it so it just can get you to the other side, and then you can worry about all the other repairs on the other side for roadworthy stuff.
So you started by doing an inspection, standard service oil changes, look at the oil, trying to determine when it was last changed, is there any damage to any of the components. So far everything is looking quite good. Some of the oil is looking old, but nothing sinister.
Oh, look, the box of spares has arrived from Rover Craft as promised.
Wow. Okay. That's it?
We can always get this sent there today.
And so, while Pete and his assistant Stuart get started with the work, I'm going to go through and sort all these spares. I know what that is. That, I believe, is a sound insulation mat from for the underside of the bonnet. All right, let's have a look here. Upgraded headlamps. Drag link. Ta-da! What? Now I'm confused. Why has it got two steering dampers?
That's factory. That's factory Land Rover.
Yeah.
That's aftermarket. Someone's welded all this on the steering arm and put that on. So it doesn't have to be there.
Why would they do that?
They must have had an issue with bump steering or something like that, and they've been trying to control that by putting an extra dampener, which they don't generally need.
So I'm going to put a box together that will, if I have a failure, for example, in the fuel system, I'll put in the fuel pump, spare fuel pump. Likely failures, carburetors could fail. There's a carburetor rebuild kit, that kind of thing. Definitely going to go into a box that I can find the parts easily. Thermostat. Brake caliper. I'll put that in there. So what I'm doing now is going through all of the bits and pieces and separating the parts that we're going to be fitting, or we know that we're going to be fitting, from parts that I will be carrying with me as spares on the trip.
So what can I conclude from today's work? Firstly, that the vehicle has had probably quite a hard life, but has been very well maintained. And that counts for a lot. The amount of rust, even for a vehicle this old, is very low. All in all, though, I think you'll agree that I've got a good one. Some of you may be asking, why change the tyres? There was nothing wrong with them. The fact is that they had been fitted to a vehicle that had been sitting on them for over 6 years. That's enough to destroy a set of tyres, and the failures would only happen when they got warm at speed.
No, it opens in the morning.
But that's it for me for today. Not only have I far more spares than I thought I would have, today's progress has been spectacularly good.
A workhorse? Well, a racehorse too, point to point. And just to show you that it's the same in any conditions, look at this in the snow. Don't try it in the family saloon. Only if it's a Range Rover. Then you can go anywhere. A car for the town and a car for the country. A car for all reasons.
Today was brilliant. I mean, today I discovered what I bought. I bought a 45-year-old Range Rover that is in remarkably good condition considering its age, and considering it has not been rebuilt, it's original. We found that some parts have been replaced, like shock absorbers, but they're gone. We found that the
indicated Odo of 74,000 is, our rough guess is double that. Probably around double that, and then in 2011, exactly as I had predicted, the little gearbox was replaced. I actually found it in the paperwork. So there was a period of time, an unknown period of time, where the Odo didn't work. And whatever that is, it's impossible to know. Given the condition of the pedals, the dashboard is in very bad shape because it's been sitting in the sun for a long time. The vehicle is not driven, and I don't think been licensed at all since 2011. For me to now to get a license and get it roadworthy is quite a challenge, in that it's going to need some rust repairs at the back. It's not a serious rust problem at the back. It's not. If you look up, you can see that there is some rust, and it's a little bit nasty, but it's not really terrible. It's very localized, and with a Range Rover like this, I mean any kind of car of this age, that's really not a problem. But it does need repairing, and it would not even be very expensive to repair. But I would need to repair it to get it roadworthy, and I will do that. I don't. The vehicle is far too nice just to now sit and not be used. So I will. My intention is to really actually do something with the vehicle. And as I said before...
Okay, I found this on the web for what is the worst cup of coffee in the world. Check it out.
Serious. And I haven't thought it through, and I don't know what I'm going to do with the vehicle, but these are my ideas. How about a resto mod? How about changing the engine into something more powerful, changing the gearbox into an automatic gearbox, and turn it into a lovely, and add an aircon and power steering, and turn it into a daily driver. It would be my daily driver, and I would really enjoy it as a daily driver. I'm not going to go overlanding in it. I might go off-road a bit in it. I might very well go off-road in it, but I'm not building it for overland and off-road. I'm building it because it's a hobby, it's a vehicle that I've always loved, and it's fun. And I'm still getting my troop carrier, which I'll be using for my long distance and off-road. Resto mod means, though, that I have to gut the interior and actually, do something completely. The interior will change utterly, whereas my thoughts were the outside will be absolutely original, and have it resprayed. And I kind of like that idea, but I don't like the idea of having it as a daily driver as it is now, with the underpowered V8 Rover engine and with that really awful gearbox. The other alternative is to just make a showpiece of it, and but I think if that's the case, then I won't drive it much. If I don't make it nice to drive, I won't drive it. Why would I drive it? I won't drive it. I've got to make it nice to drive. It's beautiful to look at, but if I want to use it, then I have to adapt it and make it practical. And at the moment it's not practical because it's not nice enough to drive. The other thing I thought about was, and I kind of dismissed it, but I did like the idea of building it into a replica Darien Breakthrough Range Rover with all of the signage on the side painted blue and everything. I think it's quite a nice idea, but again, once it's done, you look at it and you go, oh, that's nice, and then if I want a future for the vehicle, I need to restore it mechanically, get it mechanically very, very good. I need to replace the engine, I need to replace the gearbox, I need to replace the dashboard, I need to put in an air conditioning system, and I need to make it a nice vehicle to drive, because the Range Rovers that were built from mid-80s or so were lovely to drive, and I've got to bring it up to that specification, but still leaving the outside absolutely original. That is where I'm going at the moment. I'm but again, it's a cost thing. Will I throw lots of money in it to do that? I'm not sure if I'm going to. I've got other projects. I don't know. But I will be keeping it for a while, and I don't need to make up my mind right now. Thank you for watching. If you haven't already, subscribe and click the notifications bell so you don't miss our weekly videos.